Okay, so I'm going to do some animation using the effect we created in the last tutorial. So if you haven't seen that tutorial, I highly recommend you do that now. We created this very simple Saber animation, and we went over the different ways you can apply Saber to a solid layer. So let's just grab from color control down to our text layer and go to layer, pre-compose, and we'll call this Saber animation. Our Saber layer sits on top of our background. We can't see through it. Change our track mode to add, and now we can see both. And we want to make both those layers 3D, and then we want to add in a new camera, and then we want to add in a new null object and call that null object camera controller. So we're going to make that camera controller layer 3D and parent our camera to that. So if we bring up our position and rotation on our camera controller, just adjust our Y rotation, and you can see how our layers look pretty flat. If we take our position on our Saber animation and pull it back about 250 pixels, scroll around, we can see that it's got a little bit of depth to it. And maybe even move our background layer 300 pixels. So we have even more depth now. So I'm going to do a quick camera move. We're going to put keyframes for position, X and Y rotation at the beginning. Go forward about 3 seconds. Set position to -550. X rotation, I'm going to leave it 0. Y rotation 10. I'm not going to go back all the way because we're already starting this animation here. So I'm going to just mess with the keyframes at this point. This first Z position, -1500. X rotation 15. Y rotation, we'll say -20. And then let's just move our position so that way our text is somewhere close to the center. Now let's grab all these keyframes and move them back and overwrite this first set of keyframes. Looks like we're missing a keyframe here. So we want our last X rotation to be 0, we said. So like that. Maybe we can even kind of push in a little bit tighter on this. Select all those, keyframe assistant, easy ease in. I'm using our speed graph, and we just want to grab all of these handles and move them over to the left. I'm going to actually push in a little bit tighter, I believe. So let's go to the second set of keyframes and maybe push in a little bit more. I'm using my safe margins as a guide to get this pretty much centered up. Okay, and now, so whenever this settles, I don't want to just stop. I want to kind of give it a little bit more movement so it's not sitting completely still. So if we Option or Alt click on our X rotation, type in wiggle 0.3, 2. Right click on X rotation, and we're going to go copy expression, click on Y rotation and paste it. So now if we hit EE on this layer, we have this wiggle expression. And so it's basically going to move our X and Y rotation very subtly. Once it stops, it kind of has a little bit of movement to it on the X and Y rotation. Not a whole lot. It's very, very subtle. And you can actually increase this more if you'd like. X rotation 0.54. Just moving a little bit more on the X axis. Okay, so I want to add a little bit more depth, so I'm going to duplicate this abstract layer, but first I want to add in a few effects. So with this layer selected, let's go to Effect, we'll go to Stylize, Glow, change our threshold to 35, our radius increase up to 50, and then our intensity, we're going to set that to 0.5. And now I want to put an expression on our intensity, so Option Alt click onto Intensity, and type in wiggle 1, 0.4. And this is going to make our background strobe a little bit. Our intensity is set to 0.5. So using this wiggle 0.4 means the range is going to be between 0.1 and 0.9 on the intensity. Because if our glow intensity is at 0.5, the wiggle's range can go anywhere between 0.4 above it and below it. I also want to add in color correction curves. Bring this down so it's not quite so bright in the background. And I'm just going to solo this layer here and just, if we watch it play back, it gives it a little bit of a different feel. And you can see where it's strobing there on the intensity. So let's take this layer, we're going to duplicate it, and if we bring up our position, we can move this in front of our Saber animation. As we're coming back, it covers up our Saber animation. Well, if we go to our track mode and change our track mode here to screen, we can now see our text layer here. If you go over to where it says active camera, this drop down and change it to custom view, you can get a better idea of how your layers are laid out. Now, the way to navigate through this is to use your camera tool. Now, this will not affect the placement of anything in your layer. Using custom view is just a way to view your comp in a 3D way. So I'm going to take this orbit tool and just move it around so that way I get a better idea of how these are laid out. And you can change all kinds of things. Like on this layer here, reduce my scale maybe to like 50. I want to move it around a little bit. Duplicate that layer and maybe bring it on over here. You can right click on this, go to transform, flip horizontal, transform flip vertical, so that way it's a little bit more random. And we can see how this is overlaying. Grab my orbit tool again and just get an idea of how this is going to lay out. Get my position, come back like that. Go back to our active camera, watch it play back. We have a little bit more depth and it just kind of has more of a 3D feel. Select, we'll say layer 4 here, go to Effect, Blur and Sharpen, and we're going to add a fast box blur, 10 pixel blur, change our opacity 50%. Do the same thing for this next layer here. Bring up our opacity. You'll make this one like 75 just so it's slightly different. Add a fast box blur. Make this one 12 just so it's not quite the same thing. Bring up my position on this layer. Bring this down so that way it's more in front of our text layer. All personal preference. You can move these around any way you would like to get the look that you're going for. And now, if you remember, we were able to control our color of our Saber animation if we go into our pre-comp using this color control. So, whatever you set this to, it will update all of the colors. You may want to control this color from the main comp. You can go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer. I'm going to call this Main Color Control. And then when I go up and add an Expression Control, Color Control, we can lock that down. Go back into our pre-comp, open up this color control, pick whip this color to our main color control in our main comp. So now you can control this from the main comp, which is a lot quicker. The last thing, we're going to go up to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and I want to add in a vignette. There are a number of ways of doing vignettes. One of the ways I like doing it is going straight through After Effects. The CC vignette, with this layer selected, double click, and as an automatic vignette, I'm going to increase this to maybe 65. And so as you can see, there are a lot of techniques that you can incorporate using the Saber effect and also creating a 3D world and get some really cool effects using this plugin. Again, it's a free plugin by Video Copilot. I highly recommend that you experiment with this, play around. There's a lot of different settings for this plugin, and I hope this helped you out, and I will see you next time. I'd like to thank the good folks over at AE Juice for sponsoring this video. If you haven't checked them out at aejuice.com, I highly recommend you do just that right now. Get tons of free plugins from AE Juice that will save time while adding polish and professionalism to your projects. Get the AE Juice Starter Pack, which contains over 100 assets for your projects, including liquid and shape elements, liquid transitions, slides for your slideshows, text presets, flat icons, 2D and 3D assets, and so much more. AE Juice also offers professionally produced sound effects absolutely free. Other free plugins include a HUD package that is super cool. These elements would literally take hours to create, but with AE Juice, you get them absolutely free and they can be dropped into your project with the click of a button. Some of my personal favorite free plugins include Copy Ease, which allows you to copy the speed graph of your keyframes and paste them so you get identical keyframe speeds. I also use Shifter on a regular basis. Instead of going through the multiple steps of offsetting layers, this plugin allows you to do it with the click of a button, which saves a tremendous amount of time. In addition to these impressive free plugins, you can also purchase advanced products at more than reasonable prices. Take advantage of AE Juice's bundles. My personal recommendation is that you get the I Want It All bundle, which includes everything I just showed you. I've been approached by several sponsors and I will not promote their products unless I support them, use them, and highly recommend them. AE Juice is an amazing product and company, and in my opinion, it's a necessity for any serious motion graphic designer. aejuice.com. I hope this tutorial helped you out and that you learned something new and useful. Make sure to come back next time for another tutorial that will expand your knowledge of After Effects while also teaching you some really cool tips, tricks, and shortcuts. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Support our channel by getting your 7-minute AE merch today at our online store. And sign up for my Udemy course, The Power of Shape Layers. It's guaranteed to make you a Shape Layer Rockstar. The link to that course, to our 7-minute AE store, and the project files for this episode are all in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.